Hey folks, I'm Sue Lawrenson and I'm your instructor for Ling 2015, which is Wordplay. And because of the schedule, we're not going to get together for the first time for 2 weeks until Tuesday, September 9th. And so I thought you might be anxious to learn a little bit about the class, and I'm anxious to learn a little bit about you. And so I thought I would get started by putting together this video and telling you a little bit about the class. And I have taught linguistics at Georgetown for 25 years, and I'm also a dean. And this means that I know a few things about linguistics and I know a few things about teaching and learning. And I thought I would tell you a little bit about the class by framing it in the context of how I think about learning. So here goes. So first, learning should be fun. It's actually really hard to learn new things when you're stressed out. There's some psychological science on that. So we're going to do our best to have fun. I mean, this is, after all, a class about games. And I'm super excited about that. It's a class that has never been taught at Georgetown before. It's a class that doesn't really have a lot of comps out there in the world. So we're going to have a lot of fun this semester, I promise. Second, and related, learning should be hands-on, and there's some science about that too. When we are actively engaged in our learning, we tend to learn more, we tend to retain the information better, we tend to build stronger memories. And so we're going to do a lot of hands-on learning in this class. It's not going to be a lecture class. Um, Third, we learn best when we learn from each other. So I may have a PhD in linguistics and have a ton of teaching experience, and I may be pretty decent at crosswords, but you all have expertise to bring to this class. You all speak languages that I don't. You play games that I don't, and some of which I've never heard of. And we all have different brains, which means that we're all going to have different strategies for how we approach our wordplay. So we're going to dig in and learn from each other. And along the way, I'm going to be phoning some friends. We have some experts lined up, and some of those are Georgetown professors, and some of those are people out there in the world, some crossword constructors, some people who work on lexicography and dictionary editing, an editor at New York Times Games, and at the end of the semester, a guy who has a show on crosswords with some comedy and rap built in. I can't wait for you to see everything I've pulled together. And finally, you'll notice that I keep using the word learning. And that's because I really hope that in this class you'll be focused much more on learning than on your grades. And I want to be focused much more on what you are learning than on the grades I'm giving you. So you will get a grade because you have to, but we'll be using a form of simplified grading in this class, which means that each assignment will be based on points, like 3 points, 5 points. And if you demonstrate that you've met the learning objectives of that assignment, you'll get full points. It's as simple as that. And I'll explain it a little bit more on the first day of class, but I thought it might help for you to just hear my approach. Okay, first day of class. Before the first day of class, and really this week, I want you to fill out the pre-course survey that I've linked in this email. And there are 3 reasons for that. The first is that I want to learn a little bit more about you, about why you're taking the class, about your background in linguistics and in word games, even if that background is none at all, which is totally fine. So I want to learn a little bit more about you. The second thing, though, is that you have an assignment for the first day of class. Don't worry, it's very simple. It's one Google slide, and the details are explained in the survey, but you need to sign up. And what you're asked to do there is to select a word game, and you're going to create a slide that tells us a little bit more about that game. And again, more details in the survey. And finally, there are a couple of logistical things, including, importantly, one class that will meet at an alternative time. So more deets on that in the survey. So that's it. Fill out the survey, and can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.